Like, I don't really have the funds, but it's more so about just utilizing what you have. And I'm just like, I have a space that's pretty decent size. I'm in my room half the time, so why not share the space that I have?
You started a coffee shop in your apartment. Today, I'm talking with my good friend Dom about how he turned his apartment into a coffee shop. It's going to be super interesting. Let's do this. Okay.
My business is a small cafe within my apartment, as you mentioned. And so really it's just a place where I'm trying to get people to come see each other, have a great meal, have a really good baked good, have coffee, be set.
You don't have a store at the moment, but you've been testing it through pop-ups in your own apartment.
And so in the beginning, it was a lot of recipe development, recipe testing, and then I got a lot of good feedback. And so I wanted to test it to see what were people really willing to buy.
Where did this idea come from?
It comes from my grandma's place, which is the name of it will be 1316, and that's the address that my grandma's house was at. And it was a place where not only was family able to come, but people were able to come and just really reconnect, sit back, laugh. So I really wanted to have that in a place where I can build that within my own apartment where people can come in, connect, and then want to take on that bonding moment outside, whether it's a personal relationship, a business idea, or building a club. Over the last couple of years, I feel like we just continue to drift more and more apart, especially with the pandemic, social media, just the place space. And so I think if I can build a place where we build that bridge and we connect, that would be pretty awesome.
You focusing more on the community side?
It's really a tricky balance. I definitely want it to be high quality across the board. I know growing up for me, it was pretty tight in my family, so we really didn't get to go out and really see really good baked goods. Seeing people really enjoy that and really rewarding. And it was just nice to see people connect over food, and it's something that I would hope.
If you had to summarize your concept in one sentence,
It's a great spot to come to not only just sit and enjoy a good coffee, but a place where you can stop, slow down, and reconnect.
let's get to the super fun part, which is turning your apartment into a coffee shop. So how did this come about and why did you start there?
Like, I don't really have the funds, but it's more so about just utilizing what you have. And I'm just like, I have a space that's pretty decent size. I'm in my room half the time, so why not share the space that I have? It was really fun. It legit looked like a cafe. And then once it was all done, I was super inspired to want to see this more so out in the world. I'm still learning as I go, but what I do have is an apartment that I'm paying rent for. And so I'm like, well, let's just utilize it.
Just like it's no different from starting up in a farmer's market,
Yeah.
right? Do you not think so?
Yeah, I don't think it's that far from the concept of just starting up a farmer's market. I think that was the mindset behind it is just like see how it goes and to wake up to something that like it's a constant reminder, this is what I want to do, especially with being an employee to another business and then trying to run my own establishment. I needed that extra edge to be inspired myself.
What was people's reaction?
Other people thought it was a very clever idea. And then other people were just super supportive.
And put into context, so when did you do your first pop-up and how many have you done since?
I did my first pop-up in November, and I've done four more since.
And like how regularly have you been doing it?
Yeah, once a month. Yeah, so I think we're at four now.
The hardest part of turning your apartment into a coffee shop.
I think the hardest part of doing it is not really having the staff. First time that was kind of a difficult, like, kind of swing in. And then, like, reading that morning rush that we weren't really anticipating, that part was pretty challenging. The biggest change was just more so the product that we were offering people, and then opening up the hours of operation a little longer so people can come later in the day.
Let's get into the numbers. How did it cost you to do this?
Startup cost was like 1,500. That was mainly ingredient. We really wanted to look legit, so we had like actual coffee cups. We got like little to named on it. We got some stickers. But that's pretty much all that it took. Honestly, it was very minimal. I think I probably spent maybe $100.
Oh wow.
So I really didn't have to pour much into the second pop up.
What did you make on the first part?
First pop up was still the best one so far. I think because it was just the holidays. So I think I put away about 600.
Oh wow.
Pretty
So
good. Yeah.
and this was running from what, like 8?
Papa 2 was good. It was a little slow because like we were going into the holidays, is what I'm assuming. But yeah, so and like 500, maybe the last one, but I would just say 550, like to the average.
And what's kind of financial goals for this?
I mean, I'd be cool to kind of $2,000 mark, which I think is like a
What at a point would you be like, okay, this is time to like move on from the pop-up, like stage from the pop-up?
next stage would be to do them more frequently. So I would at least want to start doing them twice a month within my apartment, and then simultaneously at least do one where I'm out in some. It would be ideal would be a farmers market, but I feel like that's going to be like stage because it's kind of hard to get into some of them. So stage two would be taking advantage of two spaces that I currently have.
So you're not going to be doing this like full currently, but is that the eventual plan to do it full time?
Yeah, and I would love to be able to be like surrounded by this, like for having a team behind me that I can hopefully inspire, and it's really opening the door to people and sharing the heart of 1316, which is really great food, really great people, and a really good chance for you to just to reset and be yourself.
Let's move on to strategy and growth. So what are you doing at the moment to grow the pop-ups?
Right now, there's a couple of things that I'm working on, and I just need to continue to be more aggressive. One, really building like a social media presence. I've been very hesitant just because I am in a building some social media platform showcasing what I want people to feel. Secondly, continue to network. I think that's my biggest asset right now. And really getting to know like other people community, other branding, other people who believe in what I'm doing. You're one of them.
How much are you focusing like on your like apartment or on your street? Is it that something you want to push more? Are you reaching out to lots of people on your street? Because I would think there's a huge market literally on your doorstep.
I love the idea of just like really around just like my immunity into the pop-up, especially when I started doing them more frequently. And I think once like people have been going on for a while and it hasn't really been that big of a disturbance, I would hope that it's something that they would want to support and come to. They don't have to stay.
What are your biggest fears about this business?
Biggest fear?
Yeah, what's your biggest fear?
I think it's like something's wrong with me that I'm trying to do it now. And definitely, what if it doesn't make it is a concern, but then it's kind of like, what if it does?
In our segment, I just want to do some high impact questions. They're going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but the aim is to try and reveal some real kind of. At what point would you decide to walk away from this or to go more in?
That's a really good question. I think if it started to become too much like a job, like if I lost part of like, if I lost touch of like why I was doing it, like if the grind became more than like more than the fun side of it. Because I think the point of it would be to enjoy the journey versus to like struggle the journey. That would be the biggest thing that would make me walk away from it. For me, it's right now it's more about like, yeah, it just became another job or just like another my life, then I would have to walk away because I've seen so many different people who have been like entrepreneur business owners where they lost sight of why they originally started it and then everything else kind of fall apart. And I never want to have a brand out there where it's just kind of
So, what about the opposite? At what point would you go, right, I'm going all in on this now?
honestly, I think if I could see the success stories, like if I see like so at a restaurant that I worked for, and the lady found out that one branch was closed, and she was completely heartbroken and devastated. And it's literally because like she there, like she was there with her mom as a kid. She shared that she planned her wedding there with her bridesmaid. She told her husband that she, expecting there. It was kind of interesting to see how much this particular brand played a role in her life. And as people overheard her stories, like more and more people would share with us, like, yeah, like I used to come to when I was in college, or this is where I would come to with my grandparents. And so I think seeing those success stories and really seeing like the heart of it come to life, that would make me go harder.
1 year from now, what do you want this business to look like?
The best thing I can say is that I would want it to be fully ingrained into a community. I know, I
What
mean,
would that mean?
I don't know if that means like I have my brick and mortars or um I would be at a farmer's market, but I would want it to be like something that we're talking about. I think I would just want to be like known, but not for the sake of being known, but just that people know they have this place to come to.
And what's the one thing people don't understand about starting a business from scratch like this? What's the one thing? What's the one thing you would say to someone else who wants to do this?
The one that people don't is that you don't know everything. You know what I mean? I think there's so much like on the logistics side that I haven't really like shared with you about because for me right now I know I didn't have to that's kind of but it's also like I just don't want it to be about like the fight of all the logistics. I really want it to be about kind of the side, the hard side, the people side first. I think like that I always try to focus on the people, place, and product. And right now I'm in the people stage, and the products, and then I like the places like there. I think like you're gonna know it all, and I think, but all there are also like a really cool resources out there that you can have that are available for many different like avenues, a person of color, a woman. There's a lot of good resources out there for you. So it isn't as difficult to start as you may seem.
Your focus isn't on product or it's on people.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of, I think that's kind of traditional way of looking at it.
The thing for me, what I've seen over time is people get too wrapped up in like I mean, the in terms of being like bringing ability to your business, being able to support your business, being able to be sustainable, really important. So I'm never gonna lose sight of that. But I think as I seen so many concepts grow and been a part of like one business where like it was more about how they can pocket and line their pockets more. And I never want to like fall in that mindset. I never want to lose sight of like I don't lose sight of my team if and I get one. I never want to lose sight of the people that have been supporting me. I never want to lose sight of like just in general. So I think that's what drives me and that's what I want to maintain because once you start kind of that mindset of like, oh, I just want to make sure I'm probably not want to bring in all this money. I just think people can sometimes like lose what was important in the first place because I love the fact that food was always at the center of some type of special gathering. And I want to make sure that like I really protect that vision that I initially had. And I think that's what's going to sustain me for my journey. I never want to forget about those that contribute to make my dream a success.
All right, last question.
Cool.
Last question. What's the one question you would ask Dom 10 years from now?
That I would ask myself 10 years from now.
Future Dom. What would you ask Future Dom? If you could bring Future Dom in time here, what would you ask him?
Ask. But I think I'll ask the question as like, why give up?
I think that's super powerful. And that's a wrap. Thanks, Dom. Big love.
Thanks. Ice cream. I appreciate it. I'm excited for it.